Hello and a very good evening for all our viewers. This is WION Wallet. I am Sumit Chaturvedi. Let's see what is making headlines in the world of business this evening. Google has been fined $2.7 billion by the European Commission after it ruled the company had abused its power by promoting its own shopping business comparison to other websites. General Motors India dealerships are holding protests against the losses caused due to GM's decision to exit the Indian market. After finishing his US trip, Prime Minister Modi has arrived in the Netherlands today in the final leg of his three-nation tour. And India's budget airline SpiceJet has become the world's best performing airline stock with $26 billion worth in plane orders. And straight to our top story, where Google has been fined $2.7 billion by the European Commission after it ruled the company had abused its power by promoting its own shopping comparison service at the top of search results. The amount is the regulator's largest penalty to date against a company accused of distorting the market. The ruling also orders Google to end its anti-competitive practices within 90 days or face a further penalty. Google, however, may decide to appeal against the order. Also, if Google fails to change the way it operates the service within the 3-month deadline, it could be forced to pay payments of 5% of its parent company Alphabet's average daily worldwide earnings. Now, Google had previously suggested that Amazon and eBay had more influence over public spending habits and that the Commission's views failed to fit the reality of how most people shop online. The European Commission has been investigating Google's shopping since late 2010. The probe was spurred on by complaints from Microsoft, among others. The penalty would eclipse the previous 1.1 billion euros record fine Intel was forced to pay in 2009, and the EU might also demand that Google make changes to its search results so that it was not seen to favor its own service. Google has a 90% share of internet searches in Europe, giving it a powerful tool to direct how internet users navigate the web. European regulators have in the past investigated Microsoft, Intel, Apple, Google, Facebook and even Amazon, raising claims that Brussels was waging a war against the Silicon Valley, but the claim has been denied by the Commission. And after finishing his US trip, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in the Netherlands today in the final leg of his three-nation tour, during which he'll hold talks with his Dutch counterparts to strengthen bilateral ties. PM Modi was received at the Schiphol International Airport in Amsterdam by Dutch Foreign Minister. PM Modi, during his day-long visit, will have an official meeting with Dutch Prime Minister and call on King Willem Alexander and meet Queen there as well. This year, the two countries are celebrating 70 years of the establishment of Indo-Dutch diplomatic relations. Economic relations form the core of bilateral relations between India and the Netherlands, and the European nation is India's 6th largest trading partner in the EU and 5th largest investment partner globally. So, clearly, PM is on a three-nation tour. PM first went to Portugal. From there he went to US, and today he has landed in the Netherlands. Well, India and Netherlands are big trading partners. As we told the viewers earlier, that India's 6th largest trading partner is the Netherlands, and it is also 5th largest investment partner globally. We must tell our viewers that many Indian companies are based in the Netherlands, including Bharti Airtel, TCS of India and many other big Indian companies, because of the kind of tax-free environment the Netherlands gives to Indian companies. The two countries are celebrating 70 years of the establishment of Indo-Dutch diplomatic relations. So clearly PM Modi met the Dutch PM today. PM said that Dutch visit will cement ties between both India and the Netherlands. PM Modi was received at the Schiphol airport in Amsterdam today. Well, during the day-long tour, PM Modi will have an official meeting with Dutch Prime Minister and call on King Willem-Alexander and meet Queen Maxima there as well. This year, the two countries are celebrating 70 years of the establishment of Indo-Dutch diplomatic relations. To talk more on this issue, we are joined by our guest from Amsterdam, Chaturvedi from Amsterdam, who is partner Asia of Ethos Group and chairman of SHM Europe as well. Well, good evening to you, Vikas Chaturvedi. We would like to first of all ask you, what is the importance of this meeting? What do you see there?
Hi, good afternoon. Very warm greetings from Netherlands. So it's a very exciting time for all of us here in the Netherlands. Since Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just landed 2.5 hours back in the Netherlands. It's a very special trip because it marks 70 years of relationship, diplomatic relationship between India and the Netherlands. As many of us know that India and Netherlands has been trading partners for over 400 years. And this trip especially re-emphasizes the new dynamics that through Netherlands, India will get in the European, larger continental European region. So Netherlands is often seen as the gateway for Indian companies when it comes to continental Europe. And this trip of Prime Minister Modi will further enhance the whole relationship between India and Netherlands, which will then enable to develop a better relationship of India and European Union. Okay.
Vikas, can you tell us what is the, we can say that positives for Indian firms when they go and invest in Netherlands, and what is the positive by which PM Modi's trip to Netherlands will have after this?
So, can you say it again? I missed the question.
So what are the positives that are for Indian companies that are going to Netherlands? What kind of tax breaks they get, and what kinds of other favorable environment they get?
So Netherlands, when the Indian companies look at Netherlands, it is for them the stepping stone to get into the European market. So Netherlands offers logistics benefit, Rotterdam being the largest port in Europe, and Amsterdam Schiphol being the largest cargo terminal. It offers a great benefit. In addition to that, everyone, 95% of the people in the Netherlands speak English. So that makes it very conducive. The laws here are very friendly. The corporate laws, the tax laws are very trusting for international companies to set up business. So when you see it all in all, the Netherlands also has the very operational economy as such. So for Netherlands, when it comes to Indian companies, so far as Indian companies are concerned, it's a full package. Netherlands offers a very comprehensive package to Indian companies that wants to come in and use Netherlands as the basis to then further engage into other European countries. So it's a gateway to the European markets for Indian companies.
And because, as we know, you are also going to meet PM Modi, or at least be present in his event today. What main demands will be, presented from your side, or from the, we can say that, Netherlands company's side? So what is expected to happen in the evening today there?
So basically, there is because it's a very short trip of PM Modi to Netherlands, is meeting His Majesty and the Queen of the Netherlands. Mr. Prime Minister Modi is going to meet the Prime Minister of the Netherlands along with the top Dutch CEOs. And Mr. Modi is going to showcase the India, investment into India opportunity for these companies. So he's meeting around 14 to 15 top Dutch CEOs this afternoon for a lunch. And post that, there will be a community event which will be attended by over 3,000 to 4,000 people this afternoon, which will have a sort of a cultural program. And then Modi is going to give a keynote speech to the diaspora based in the Netherlands.
Well, give us a sense. Can you give us a sense of what have been the relationships between so far India and Dutch government as far as economic ties goes?
So today, As of now, the business between both the countries stands at approximately some 6 billion euros. Very interestingly, India is the top 5 investors in the Netherlands and vice versa. So Dutch companies, when you see the investments coming into India, Netherlands ranks in top 5. And so far as Indian outbound is concerned, again, Netherlands ranks in top 5 for Indian outbound investment. So from that perspective, India and Netherlands already have a very strategic partnership, very strategic tie-up. But there are certainly areas where India demands, where India needs, and where Netherlands excels, such as, we are looking at infrastructure predominantly. In India, we are talking of a $1 trillion of investment into infrastructure space, especially in water area, in waste management, in smart cities. Modi wants to develop 100 smart cities in the country. The port development, agro and food, logistics, and there is a very special Clean Ganga program where Netherlands is already involved in. Then there is a coastal road program of Maharashtra, wherein Dutch are already involved. So there are a lot of areas, especially in the field of infrastructure, where India has a need and where Dutch companies have an excellence. So I think that the two countries really unlocks the potential that they both can do. I think these would be the partnership that the world would be looking. And, all of the business community and the diaspora community will benefit at large with unlocking the potential of the economies. So we have a lot to achieve. A great partnership is there, but I'm very confident with this Modi's trip happening. The whole thing will be unlocked and will really go to the next level of the engagement, both business as well as politics.
Well, thank you so much, Vikas Chaturvedi, for talking to us this evening, for getting us all these important details and perspective. Coming back to India and back to India's auto sector, where General Motors India dealerships are holding protests today against the losses caused due to their decision to exit the Indian market. The Federation of Automobile Dealers Association, or FADA, said that the sudden decision of General Motors has caused immense loss and suffering to around 100 General Motors dealers and others connected with the sales and service activities. Dealers are claiming that around 15,000 people will be out of the job. GM in last month had announced a decision to exit the domestic Indian market, but said it would still continue production in India for export markets. During this, the company's management also assured that they were in talks with dealerships and would provide all support to their stakeholders. So we are joined by Nikun Sanghi of Federation of Automobile Dealer Association of India, while he is the international director on that particular organization. Well, good evening to you, Mr. Sanghi. What kind of, we can say that complaints you have against GM India? The company is going, haven't they paid you or compensated you fully?
So I guess it's not really a complaint, but being business partners with General Motors for the last 17 years, having supported the brand for the last 17 years, one, we expected the company to be far more transparent than what it was with us. And so we expected that the company would take us into the loop about any major decision that they would take. So first of all, I think we were led to believe that the company is not quitting India domestic sales. They are making further investments. They are launching new models. And by 2020, General Motors will have a 10% market share in the Indian market. With those things in perspective, we were asked to make investments, we were asked to employ people, we were asked to get prepared for having huge sales. So we were excited, we were willing to make investment. In fact, a lot of dealers opened new outlets. There was recruitment happening because as late as 24th April, dealers got a communication that the new Beat was being launched and that it was already ready for media launch and that we needed to have our sales team in place who could be trained to handle the new Beat. So the decision of General Motors one fine morning in which we received from media reports is that they're quitting domestic sales was a rude shock, a very rude shock to all of us, to all the dealers, the entire dealer fraternity. Now, it's a business call that they needed to take. If they were not making money, we can't stop them from not doing business in India. But What we expected was that being business partners with General Motors, will be treated fairly, will be compensated for all the losses that we were going to incur because there's certain decision that our manpower would be taken care of, almost 15,000 people would lose their jobs. Unfortunately, General Motors has done no such thing at all. They have, the compensation that they have offered, one, is not standard for all dealers. I mean, it's a compensation which varies from each dealership.
So are you planning to take GM to even court in case your grievances will not be addressed to, or do you have this option at the table right now?
Well, if we need to take this decision, it will be taken very reluctantly, but I guess General Motors is forcing its dealers to get into that situation where they might have to explore legal options available with them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Sanghi, for talking to us and getting us all these details on this important story. Now from India, let's go to global automotive market where Waymo, the self-driving car unit of Alphabet, the parent of Google, has reached an agreement for Avis Budget Group to manage its fleet of autonomous vehicles. It's the first such deal in a field that's still fledgling but exploding with partnerships. The rental car firm Avis will service and store Waymo's Chrysler Pacifica minivans in Phoenix, where the parent of Google is testing a ride-hailing service with volunteer members of the public. Waymo will own the vehicles and pay Avis for its service, an arrangement that is set for multiple years but not exclusive. The companies would not share financial terms. Avis gives Waymo a potential asset that rivals like the major automakers and Uber Technologies already have, a sprawling network of traditional cars and customers that could be transformed into an autonomous transport service over time. And now coming to the biggest tax reform of independent India, GST, which will be in effect from 1st of July, which is from few days from now. Now, to know what it means for auto companies, we caught up with CEO of one of the most valuable companies in India, Royal Enfield. Let's hear what he had to say.
Totally prepared. In fact, we have already offered that price wherever applicable to our consumers even now. So with effect from, I think, 17th. Which was 2 days back, I think, or 2 or 3 days back. We've already offered that benefit in all our stores across the country.
And staying with India, where Bitcoins, the virtual currency, could be now legalized. From exercising caution over Bitcoin to now over legalizing it, the government of India could finally be moving towards compliance. Recently, a meeting of Finance Ministry has been held on it, where the meeting officials from Niti Aayog and Reserve Bank of India took part, and they may be inching closer to legalizing the virtual currency of Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin is legalized, the Bitcoin will fall under RBI's 1934 Act, which is very important. Now, Bitcoin investors would also be taxed. The virtual currency investors would be taxed, and RBI would issue Bitcoin's guidelines as to how they be controlled. Guidelines on investment and purchase of Bitcoins would also be seen, and their foreign payments will be under FEMA Act. So clearly Bitcoin, the returns from Bitcoin's investment will be taxed also. So Bitcoins is a virtual currency which can be legalized in India. India is moving towards that, and that will be one big move. So clearly Bitcoin is one subject which was not being touched upon earlier. Now government is deciding to legalize Bitcoin. Remember, it's a virtual currency. Its prices go up and down every day. It's in use from many countries in Asia to many countries across the world. So Bitcoin is one virtual currency which can be legalized in India. SEBI, the Stock Exchange Board of India, they can regulate Bitcoins. And news from India's aviation space, where as government looks at privatization to revive Air India, pilots want salary dues to be cleared first. The proposal to privatize Air India is a welcome move, but salary arrears should be settled first, as promised earlier, feel the pilots as the national carrier. Now, facing tough financial conditions, Air India had resorted to salary cuts in 2012, which is 5 years ago. Now, since then, arrears have been accumulated even as certain section of employees have accepted revised pay scales. The arrears to be paid to the 27,000 odd staff of Air India, that includes pilots and cabin crew, are estimated to be around rupees 1,200 crore. Now, out of the total amount, rupees 400 crore is due for pilots, according to a senior pilot. So when Ashwini Lohani took over as the current CMD of airline carrier Air India nearly 2 years ago, he had assured that all pending dues would be paid in a phased manner. Now, as the government looks at privatization and other options to revive the airline, pilots want the salary dues to be cleared first before any decision is taken at the highest level amid uncertainty over the future course of action. Now, according to pilots, if the government privatizes the airline, they would like to start on a clean slate rather than just outsourcing the current problems, such as salary arrears, to the new investor. So while discussions are still at an initial stage on the way forward for the debt-laden airline, sections of employees seem to be on different pages when it comes to the idea of privatization of Air India. And now moving to AirAsia India, which is a Malaysian airline where Malaysia Transport Ministry has instructed AirAsia to check with its aircraft manufacturer on the reasons behind the technical problems on its Airbus aircraft. The Deputy Minister of Malaysia Transport Ministry said the Airbus manufacturer was responsible for ensuring every aircraft was safe and to look for a remedy if there were problems. The Airbus A330 from Perth to Kuala Lumpur experienced problems about 90 minutes into the journey on Sunday. The aircraft, though, landed safely, with Perth Airport reporting a technical issue. An Australian newspaper, however, claimed the plane returned on one engine. It also said a blade in one of its two engines had sheared off. It was the second scare involving an Airbus A330 in Australia this month, with the China Eastern plane making an emergency landing in Sydney after a huge hole appeared in one of its engine casings. The Deputy Minister of Malaysia Transport Ministry also said he would instruct the Department of Civil Aviation to check on the maintenance records of aircraft belonging to Malaysian old airlines, as it was the responsibility of every local airline to ensure every aircraft underwent stringent scheduled maintenance. And SoftBank Group's $100 billion Vision Fund is scouting for possible investments in quantum computing and experimental science being researched by companies such as Google, IBM to succeed in current computer processors technology. The Vision Fund, which has attracted investment from Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, Apple and other large institutional backers, is investing in cutting-edge technologies from virtual reality to the Internet of Things. It recently invested $500 million for a minority stake in Improbable, a London-based simulation and virtual reality software startup. Well, that has few customers and little revenue. Once considered purely theoretical, researchers have made strides in building functioning quantum computers based around a number of different designs and approaches. Now, International Business Machines, which is IBM, Alphabet, Google, and Rigetti Computing, a San Francisco-based quantum computing startup, have created working machines around one method. Now straight to our market segment, where Indian markets have closed in red. They are under pressure few days ahead of GST, which is going to kick off from July 1st. While Sensex lost more than 150 points today, while Nifty also lost more than 60 points. So that's the situation as far as Indian markets are concerned. They are under pressure before GST. As far as overall situation of markets is concerned, there are some positives working for the market, which is the timely arrival of monsoon, but not many positives working for market as well. Well, Indian markets are currently directionless as they are waiting for some cue to give them some kind of hope going forward. To talk more on market, we are joined by our analyst for today, Mustafa Nadeem. Well, good evening to you, Mr. Nadeem. We would like to ask you what kind of trade you see happening tomorrow.
See, Nifty today took support of 9467 level it is a 38.2% retracement of fifth wave. So I think there would be some more correction in the market, and we may see market going towards 9430, 9410 levels. India VIX also today closed 8% higher at 12.5, which again suggests that there is some bearishness in the market. But this is a short-term correction, and again, this would be used by traders to enter the market. This is happening just because there is no positive triggers at present in the market. So some profit booking is happening ahead of GST launch, and now the next leg would depend on how effectively the things are managed on the policy matters going forward.
Well, Mr. Nadeem, today we have another news that SpiceJet is the biggest stock, the top valued stock in aviation in India, across the globe, pardon me. So what do you suggest our viewers? Should they go and invest in that particular stock?
Yes, SpiceJet is on my radar, and we may see the stock rising more by 10-15% in next 6 months, because the crude oil price is supporting. The GST is again a good thing for aviation sector because it would bring down the prices. And overall, if you see, the capacity utilization of SpiceJet has gone up. So all this if you couple all these things, the stocks looks very good technically and fundamentally. So we can see a 10-15% upside going forward in SpiceJet.
All right, Mr. Nadeem, thank you so much for talking to us today and getting us this important perspective. Well, Indian markets are under pressure few days ahead of GST kicking off in Indian market. That's all today we have in this edition of WION Wallet. For more news and updates, stay tuned to WION, and thanks for watching us.